Good morning children, this is your social science class. So in this class we are going to see about gross domestic product and its growth and introduction in economics. So this is your first unit in economics. So I'll repeat the topic again, gross domestic product and its growth and introduction. Do you all know what is meant by gross? The total value of goods produced and services provided in a country during 1 year. So during 1 year, the total value of goods produced. So in our country, we produce lot of goods, right? Lot of things, right? So the total value of these goods and the services provided in a country during a 1 year period is called gross domestic. Okay, gross. So it shows our economic wealth of our country. So in this chapter you will come to know about the meaning of gross domestic product, the various measures of national income, the composition of GDP, the growth of GDP and economic policies, economic growth and development, and what are the differences between these two things. Okay, so these are the things we are going to see in this chapter. So the GDP, which means gross domestic product, is a market value of all the final goods and services produced in the country during a time period. So it is a market value. So when we go to buy some things, they have a fixed value, right? Fixed price, right? So GDP, that is a thing that determine the value of all the final goods and services produced in a country. So that is called GDP. Okay. Goods and services, as you know by now, goods are tangible item while services are activities which are intangible. So goods and services, goods means the things, the products. So these are tangible, which means you can feel it, you can see it, you can touch it. That is all called tangible items. So goods are tangible item, but services are intangible, which means it cannot be seen. We don't know what is behind the things we buy, right? So if you are buying a mobile phone, we can see only the mobile phone, right? That is goods. But the services, what are the things behind that happen? Who prepared it? From where they got all the things? Everything we can't know, right? So that is all intangible. That is all called services. Market value. This is the price at which goods and services are sold in the market. So they produced for one amount, but when it comes to the market, that will differ, right? So this is a market value, is price at which goods and services are sold in the market. That is called market value. So we'll see an example. An economist will say that in the hotel, two kinds of items are being produced. Obviously, idli and tea are produced. These are tangible physical things you can touch and feel. So just you imagine you people are going to an hotel and are ordering for an tea and idli. Okay, 2 idlis and for a cup of tea. Okay, so the tea and idlis are tangible items. They are goods. They are provided by you, by someone. They are provided to you by someone. So they are called tangible items. They are the goods, right? But the work done by the cooks and the people who serve the food, the activity of cooking and serving is not something you can feel and touch. So the work done by the cook in the kitchen, okay, in the kitchen department, someone is cooking the idli, someone is putting the tea for you, but you don't know who's that, what they are doing, that and all we don't know. We just know what we got in the table, right? What we received in the table, that is what we know. So that is called goods, and services is that action that goes behind the screen, which is unseen for us, which means we can't see that or feel that. So that is all called services, right? So in the same thing it happens in our country also. As I said you earlier, when you buy a product, you just see the product alone, but behind the things, how the product has been processed, how it have been made, everything we don't know. So that is all called services. Now we'll see about national income. National income is a measure of total value of goods and services produced by an economy over a period of time, normally a year. So national income is a measure of total value of goods. Okay, the total value of goods and services produced by an economy during the 1 year period. That is called national income. Various terms associated with the national income. That is, first one is gross national product, which means GNP. Gross national product is the total value of goods and services produced and the income received in a year by domestic residents of a country. So it is the total value of goods and services produced as well as the income received in a year. Okay, that is called gross national product, the income we received throughout the year. Okay, next one is gross domestic product, GDP. Okay, is the total value of output of goods and services produced by the factors of production within the geographical boundaries, within our boundary of the country. Okay, as we saw earlier, GDP is a total value of goods produced and the services provided in a country, right? Next is net national product. So it is arrived by making adjustment with regard to the depreciation, that if we have arrived at net national product by deducting the value of depreciation from gross national product. So by doing some adjustment, they'll fix some rate, right? The people who makes the product, they'll fix some price, but when they come to the market, they'll do some adjustment. So that is all called net national product. Net domestic product. Net domestic product is a part of gross domestic product. Net product is obtained from the gross domestic product by deducting the quantum of tear and wear expenses. So by doing some deduction, this net doing some deduction from the gross domestic product is called net domestic product. Per capita income. Per capita income or output per person is an indicator to show the living standard of people in a country. So this show the living standard of a people in a country, the way they live their life. It is obtained by dividing the national income by the population of a country. So the whole national income, it will be divided by the population of a country. Personal income. Personal income is the total money income received by individuals and households of a country from all possible sources before direct taxes. Therefore, personal income can be expressed as PI, which means NI, corporate income, taxes, transfer payment, social security distribution. So personal income, so all will be receiving some amount, right? Annual income, monthly income they'll have. So that is all called personal income, okay, by individuals or by the households of the country. Disposable income. Disposable income means actual income which can be spent on consumption by individual and families. Thus it can be expressed as DPI equal to PI minus TAC. So disposable income means actual income which we spent. Okay, we'll receive some income, right? Personal income, but we spent it for many things, for food, for clothing, for jewelry, for house payment, house rent payment. So these are our expenses, right? So that is all called disposable income. Now we'll see about the methods of GDP calculating. The first one is expenditure approach. Expenditure, okay, the expenses. In this method, the GDP is measured by adding the expenditure on the final goods and services produced in a country during a specified period. So how they are calculating is by adding the expenditure of the final goods. So expenses of the final goods and services produced during a 1 year or a 6 month period. Okay, so they will add the expenditure on the final goods. The income approach. This method looks at GDP from the perspective of the earnings of men and women who are involved in producing the goods and services. So this method, it depends on the earnings of men and women who are all involved in this process. So that is all income approach. Value added approach. A cup of tea served to you in a hotel is a final good. The goods used in produce it are tea powder, milk and sugar are intermediate goods since they form a part of the final good, the cup of tea. So the same thing, children, when you order for a cup of tea or when you drink a cup of tea, the final product, the final good you receive is a tea, a cup of tea. But what are the products included in that? Tea powder, milk, sugar, okay, that is all intermediate goods. Okay, so when they all process, when they all mingle, only finally you will get a product, a cup of tea, right? One way to measure the market value of the cup of tea is added the value product produced by each intermediate good used to produce it. Each intermediate good, the tea powder, milk and sugar, adds value to the final output, the cup of tea. So all these add the value to the final output. Without tea powder, can you put tea? Or without milk, can you make a tea? No. Without sugar, can you make a tea? No. Of course, for a diabetic patient, they can make without sugar. That is all about. But all these things are, all these ingredients are very important to make a tea, right? So, these are the things which are included in manufacturing, when producing a tea, right? So, these are the final. This is the final good we get. Now we'll see about the composition of gross domestic product. So what are the composition, what is all included? Okay, so the Indian economy is divided into three sectors. The first one is primary sector, that is agricultural sector. Agricultural sector is known as primary sector, in which agricultural operations are undertaken. Agriculture based allied activities, production of raw materials such as cattle farm, fishing, mining, forestry, corn, coal, etc. are also undertaken. So under this agricultural sector only, raw materials such as cattle farming, fishing, mining, forestry, coal mining, everything is included in agricultural sector only. Secondary sector, that is industrial sector. So this in which the goods and commodities are produced by transforming the raw materials. So important industries are iron and steel industry, cotton, textile, jute, sugar, cement, paper, automobile and other small scale industries. So in secondary sector, industries are the main function, right? So the raw materials will be transformed. Okay, many commodities are produced. So like cotton, textile, jute, sugar, all these are. Next one is territory, that is service sector. Territory sector is known as service sector. It includes government, scientific research, transport, communication, trade, postal and telegraph, banking, education, entertainment, healthcare and information technology. So all these are included in territory, or that is service sector. They all serve, right. In the 20th century, economists began to suggest that traditional territory services could be the further distinguished from 4th and 5th service sectors. So it is distinguished, it is divided from 4th and 5th service sectors. Next we'll see about the difference between economic growth and development. Both seems to be same, right? But we'll see what are the difference between these two. Economic growth, it is a positive quantitative change in the output of an economy in a particular time period. So it occurs in a particular time period, the positive quantitative change. So it is a change in the output of an economy. So this one, in economic development, it considers a rise in output in an economy along with the advancements of HDI index, which consider a rise in living standards, advancement in technology and overall happiness in index of a nation. So economic growth might be about 1%, but this development, it happens for the nation, throughout the nation, right? Advancement in technology or rise in living standards of each and everyone. So that is called development. Economic growth is a narrower concept. It is a narrower, it's very small concept, but this is a broader concept. Quantitative. So next one is quantitative in approach. So it depends on the quantity growth, but development, it is quality. Okay, it depends on the quality, it sees the quality. Short term in nature, long term in nature. So this is economic growth, it is very short, in one or few periods, few years we can yield it, but this is a long term project, long term nature. Developed nation, developing economies. So this applicability is in developed nation, but here developing economies. Increase in national income, increase in real national income, that is per capita income. So increase in national income, but increase in real national income. So everyone has to get a very normal income, at least normal approximate income for everyone must be seen. It in a certain period of time, it is a continuous process. This development is a continuous process. So these are the differences of economic growth and economic development. Right. So finally we'll see about the growth of GDP and economic policies, right? So we'll see about the agricultural policy. Agricultural policy is a set of government decisions and actions relating to domestic agriculture, imports of foreign agricultural products. Government usually implement agricultural policies with the goal of achieving a specific outcome in the domestic agricultural markets. Some overarching themes include risk management and adjustment, economic stability, natural resources, and environmental sustainability, research and development, and market access for domestic commodities. So, this agriculture policy, it is a set of government decisions and action, the activities relating to domestic agriculture. So, the import, export. Mostly we used to export many agricultural items, right? Because India is very rich in agricultural field, agricultural things. So mostly we used to export. Okay, so the government only fixing all the rate. Okay, when the farmer, he used to fix some rate for his own yield, for his own production, but when it comes to the market, the price will be different. But when it's exported to some other country, the price would be different. So these are fixed by the government. Some agriculture policies are price policy, land reform policy, green revolution, irrigation policy, food policy, agriculture labor policy, and cooperative policy. So these are the agriculture policies which have been passed throughout the year, throughout recent times. Industrial policy. Industrial development is a very important aspect of an economy. So industrial wise, the growth and development is very important for any economy. It creates employment, promotes research and development, leads to modernization, and ultimately makes the country self-sufficient. So it creates employment. See, now in our country, most of the youngsters are not doing any agriculture activities, right? Instead, they are working in a factory industry. So industry is only giving them salary, right? So it creates employment, promotes research and development, and also modernization. Okay, many car companies, automobile companies, many mobile phone companies are situated in Chennai itself. So a lot of people getting job throughout this factories and industry, right? So it gives employment, it started modernizing. Okay, the country started modernizing. So ultimately the economy will be self-sufficient. We will be sufficient, we will be contentful. Okay, this is enough for us. So that is the main aim for this industrial policy. Next we'll see about the new economic policy. The economy of India has undergone significant policy shifts in the beginning of the 1990s. This model of economic reforms is commonly known as LPG, or liberalization, privatization and globalization model. So LPG, liberalization, okay, it must be liberty, freedom, privatization and globalization model. So this economy of India has undergone a significant policy shift in the beginning of the 1996. So very remarkable policy shift. Okay, some other policies in India are trade policy, employment policy, currency and banking policy, wage policy, population policy. So these are the policies, some other policies in India. These economic reforms had influenced the overall economic growth of a country in a significant manner. So this economic reforms has influenced, has affected the overall economic growth of the country. So in this chapter you come to know about the GDP of the value of all goods. Indian economy is classified into agriculture, industry and service sector, and depreciation means the monetary value of an asset decreases over a time due to use, wear and tear, right? So decrease in the price, that is called depreciation. Income, the amount of monetary or other returns either earned or unearned over a period of time. So income. Okay, the economic indicator is a statistical data used to determine the health of an economic. So economic, they have a process, right? Economic indicator, so that is used to determine the health of the economy. How far are we in a good condition or are we in a bad condition? So that is called economic indicator. So these are the things we have learned in this chapter, children. You will get the notes also as soon as you see this video. Thank you.